The battle for Willow Creek. The police car's red and blue lights cut through the twilight haze of Willow Creek Lane, a quiet cul-de-sac in suburban Maple Grove, Ohio. I, Daniel Harper, a 52-year-old widowed accountant, stood on my front lawn, hands raised, feeling like a thief in my own home. "Keep your hands visible," the officer snapped, his flashlight blinding me. My crime? Carrying a turquoise rocking chair, my daughter Sarah's treasure from her late mother into our new two-bedroom bungalow. A neighbor, Evelyn Caldwell, had dialed 911, accusing me of being a shady drifter running an illegal Airbnb with a pretend daughter, all because she loathed the chair's vivid hue. What Evelyn didn't know was that her crusade would expose her deceit, dismantle a sham homeowners association, and ignite a movement that made Willow Creek the first neighborhood in Ohio to outlaw HOAs for good. Sarah, my 19-year-old daughter, is bright, stubborn, and bound for college. That turquoise chair isn't just decor, it's a piece of her mom, Laura. Laura picked it out during her last weeks fighting leukemia, wanting Sarah to have something lively to cling to. "She needs joy," Laura had whispered, her voice frail but fierce. The chair became Sarah's anchor through our grief. When we scraped together enough for the bungalow, Sarah knew it belonged by the bay window, catching the morning light. That crisp October morning, we pulled up with a rented U-Haul, both of us buzzing with hope. The air smelled of fallen leaves, and for the first time in 4 years, we felt alive. Sarah was sketching her study corner when Evelyn charged over. Imagine a woman in her early 60s, clad in a starched blazer, gripping a tablet like a weapon. Her gray bun was pulled so tight it seemed to sharpen her glare. Before I could speak, she jabbed a finger at Sarah's chair and hissed, "That eyesore violates our aesthetic code." "No hello, just venom." Sarah's smile faded, her joy snuffed out. This stranger was trashing her mom's last gift. I stepped forward, voice calm but pulse racing. "Ma'am, we own this house. This is my daughter, Sarah." Evelyn's eyes narrowed, sizing us up. "I don't believe you," she spat. "That girl's too young for a mortgage. This is rental fraud, and I won't stand for it." Sarah shrank, whispering, "Dad, what's her problem?" I held my ground, but my blood boiled. "You're upsetting my kid over a chair," I said, my tone sharp. Evelyn smirked, already dialing. "Police. Suspicious activity at 12, Willow Creek Lane." Sirens wailed as Officer Bennett arrived, expecting a minor spat, but finding Evelyn in full theater mode, now poised with a sleek folder. "I'm Evelyn Caldwell, Willow Creek HOA president," she cooed, flashing embossed violation notices and an ID badge. She painted me as a grifter using a teen to skirt rental laws, her voice thick with fake concern. Sarah trembled, stung by the lies. I showed our deeds and IDs, but Evelyn's polished act overshadowed us. Bennett left, uneasy, while Evelyn vowed further measures. Over the next week, her attacks escalated. Fines arrived, $400 for unauthorized decor, $250 for unlisted occupants, and $600 for visual disruption. The notices looked official letterheads, case numbers, legal jargon. I questioned myself. Had I overlooked some rule? Neighbors grew distant. Mrs. Larson, who'd offered us cookies, now avoided eye contact. I heard her mutter, "Evelyn says they're scammers, tanking our property values." Sarah stopped sitting in her chair, saying it felt tainted. "Maybe we should store it, Dad," she said, eyes wet. Seeing her surrender her mom's gift broke me. Then Sarah flipped the script. One evening, brushing away tears, she said, "Dad, I looked up the HOA online to pay the fines, but there's nothing. No website, no filings. That's not normal, right?" I was drained, tempted to dismiss it. Maybe they used paper records, but her words stuck. What real group has no digital footprint? At 1 a.m., I found Sarah at her laptop, tabs open on Willow Creek HOA, Evelyn Caldwell HOA president, and more. Zilch. She showed me a supposed HOA site, generic text, stock photos, and a P.O. box. It was 6 months old. The violation notices? Sent from Evelyn Caldwell 55@gmail.com. What legit outfit uses Gmail? Sarah asked. My accountant brain engaged. The seals were pixelated clip art, the paper thin. "Sarah," I said, fury mixing with hope, "we're digging deeper." The next day, I called the county office. After a long hold, they confirmed, no registered HOA at Willow Creek Lane, ever. Sarah's spark returned. The fire I hadn't seen since Laura's passing. She made me cry over Mom's chair, she said. She's done. We planned to trap Evelyn. Sarah suggested recording her in action to prove the fraud. I emailed Evelyn. Dear Ms. Caldwell, I request a formal HOA board meeting to review our violations. Please include all members and documentation. I wanted her to scramble, knowing she couldn't fake a board. She replied in 45 minutes, setting a meeting at her house the next night too fast for a real HOA. Perfect for our sting. Sarah's idea was brilliant. Arrive early to catch her prepping her board. We parked across the street, Sarah's phone ready. At 6:15 p.m., 2 women, Maureen and Janet, arrived, looking nervous. Through an open window, we heard Evelyn drilling them. Maureen, you're the secretary, 5 years in. Janet, your treasurer say the budget's robust. Maureen quavered. Evelyn, is this above board? Janet fretted. What if they ask for records? Evelyn barked. Just stick to the script. This man's ruining our street. Every word was recorded. At 7 p.m., we knocked, playing dumb but armed with evidence. Evelyn's living room was staged like a corporate office in nameplates, fresh printed forms. Maureen and Janet fidgeted as Evelyn presented them as board members. When I asked for financials, Janet mumbled, "They're substantial." Maureen stammered, "We left the books at home." The knockout came when I probed the bylaws. Evelyn handed me a glossy booklet, but Maureen, trying to help, said, "Evelyn typed those up yesterday." Janet added, "She was laminating them till midnight." Evelyn froze. Sarah's phone captured it all. Instead of confronting her, we went bigger. I printed flyers for a neighborhood transparency meeting, vague enough to draw Evelyn. Sarah and I canvassed, hinting at HOA issues. Neighbors opened up. Mrs. Larson had paid $80 monthly for upkeep. An elderly couple shelled out $600 for non-existent street repairs. Evelyn had conned at least 12 families, pocketing thousands. Sarah's social media posts about our ghost HOA spread fast. Her video of the fake board meeting was shared 500 times. The community center was packed, neighbors, curious locals, even a news van. Evelyn showed up with Maureen, Janet, and a lawyer friend, armed with a slideshow on community values. I cut in, projecting our evidence. County records showing no HOA, the Gmail address, the shoddy website, and Maureen's recorded slip. The room exploded. Mrs. Larson demanded her $2,000 back. Others shouted their losses, fines, fees, assessments. Evelyn's lawyer bolted. Then, stunningly, Evelyn broke down. "You don't get it," she sobbed. "After my son died, this street was a dump, plowed parties, junk cars. I was broke and alone. I just wanted it beautiful again, to mean something." The crowd wavered, torn between rage and pity. She wasn't just a scammer. She was a grieving mother-turned-tyrant. "You can't build trust with lies," I said. Mrs. Larson stood. "I want my money, but no more HOA garbage. Can't we just be neighbors?" Sarah seized the moment. "What if we make sure this never happens again?" She'd researched community covenants that could block future HOAs, requiring full resident consent. The idea galvanized the room. Mrs. Larson cheered. No more fines or lawn height rules. Over 10 days, Sarah and I knocked on doors, listening. Mr. Rivera, a mechanic, offered free oil changes but feared Evelyn's citations. The Patel family's kids wanted a skateboard but were worried about noise violations. Mrs. Hayes hid her rose garden to dodge aesthetic fines. We drafted a neighborly pact, voluntary guidelines, not mandates. 2 households fretted about property values, so we held a second meeting to address concerns together. Sarah explained, "We're not against structure, just control." The vote was historic. 22 of 24 households approved the covenant. Sarah livestreamed it, her 10,000 followers watching as we made history. I filed the covenant with the county, who grinned, "You're HOA proof." Willow Creek transformed. Sarah's turquoise chair became a community centerpiece, joined by neighbors' colorful benches. We started potlucks, a tool-lending library, and a kids' soccer league. Property values climbed not from rules, but from connection. Evelyn found purpose at the local library, organizing book clubs. One evening, she brought Sarah a rose from her garden, glancing at the chair. "My son loved bright colors," she said. Sarah hugged her, inviting her to a potluck. A news crew captured our story. Sarah in her chair, kids playing, neighbors laughing. This chair was Mom's last gift, Sarah told them. She'd love this, not just the chair, but the freedom to be ourselves. I stood beside her as the camera panned to our sign. Willow Creek Lane, self-governed since 2025. No HOA required. Our story went viral, inspiring 15 states to launch anti-HOA campaigns. Sarah's posts hit 3 million views, earning her a TEDx talk. Willow Creek proved trust, not control, built community. What's your take? Have you faced petty tyrants like Evely, or injustices that turn neighbors against each other? Share your thoughts below, especially on how we tackle bullying and unfairness in our lives. Take a stand, and let's hear your voice.